Hello people, Awesome50 back again, and today I'm just going to do a quick review on the series on Prime called Knuckles. So yeah, this is just going to be a quick video review, just to let people know that this series is actually pretty damn good. Obviously, it's not as good as the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, the live action movies that have just come out. But as a standalone series, just focusing on Knuckles, it's actually pretty decent. As in, like, to be honest, if you were to, I was thinking at first with this like series, well, why couldn't they just like make a movie? Why the hell does it need to be a series? But the truth is, if it was a film, I don't think it would actually be any good. I think it'd actually be a really terrible film. But as a series, it seems to just work, and I can't really explain that. It's kind of difficult because it looks like imagine a film. If they created the Sonic the Hedgehog film and then they're gonna edit out all the stuff that's not directly like relevant to the movie, then you'd have the movie, the finished piece. But the series feels like it's all the stuff that would have been edited out of a movie and then put into a series, and it just somehow works. And I don't know how to explain it. So, for example, they've got the character Wade, who was really just a supporting character within the Sonic movies, but it did have a few like one-liners and like funny takes in the movies, and he was a quite a lovable character in that kind of way, where he was just like funny and like innocent kind of thing, a bit of an idiot, you know. And then also obviously in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, we had the introduction of Knuckles, and there was a storyline around him and his past and everything like that, but it wasn't really elaborated on. So basically, they've done this Knuckles series, so it really elaborates on the character Knuckles and what he's all about, and his principles, his morals. And then you've got the character Wade, which was like Tom's best friend kind of thing. He was a deputy. And basically, what they've done is they've kind of done it where Tom and Sonic are like human and alien, whatever. And they've got Wade and Knuckles now, which are like human and alien, if you will. So it kind of works, and it's really going to set like a tone, probably for the Sonic 3 movie that's just about to come out. But I think they did a really good job. The episodes are extremely short. Like, if you exclude the, like the opening credits and then the ending credits, then it's probably only about 20 minutes long per episode, something like that. And it gives you like a bit of an in-depth. And the main villain is played by the character that played Sandor Clegane in Game of Thrones. We all know him as the Hound, and he's like a villain where he used to be Doctor Robotnik's like assistant, where it's under him as like a roboticist kind of thing. And he plays a pretty decent villain, if I'm honest. I mean, yeah, he does. He actually does. He makes it work. It feels like something that shouldn't work, and it just works. And obviously, Idris Elba's like continued his voice acting for the character Knuckles, which also is perfect. So if this was a film, it would suck. Simply because the series is not as good as the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. It isn't. But you can't go into it thinking that this is literally just a standalone spin off series just to give you some character development about Knuckles, etc., and other characters around him too. If this was a film and it was to rival the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, it would suck. Because you can't compete with Jim Carrey, for example, as the main villain, Dr. Robotnik. It's just never going to happen in a million years. Everything else could be competed with, but you're not going to get it. But because it's a series, most of the action scenes, the big ones anyway, it's not really full of them, whereas the movie would be straight to the point kind of thing. I know this video probably makes zero sense. Basically, a movie is generally like straight to the point, whereas a series, you generally get a bit more because they can drag it out for as many episodes as they actually want. With movies, they're better off keeping any movie at a maximum of about 1 hour and 45 minutes, or to 2 hours at most. You'd never in a movie go over 2 hours. Not really. Without editing, like editing everything. So with your series, you can kind of delve really into character development. You can extend the episodes and stuff like that. And yeah, it was good. You got the equivalent of a movie, but it wouldn't have been good as a movie, which is kind of difficult to explain. That's why lots of things are series these days. And obviously, I'm going to presume that, you know, it's exclusive to Prime, so they probably got a bit of a kickback in the budget too, which were pretty decent. But yeah, no, it kept to the source material. It was pretty decent. I'm not going to say it was epic, but if there was ever going to be a Sonic the Hedgehog movie spin off, that was it. And they've done it. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Me and my girlfriend boxed off the series in one night. Easy. So it's an easy watch as well. It's pretty good, pretty decent. Some stuff is very irrelevant, but you've got to just think of it as though the series is just focusing on Knuckles and his development and how he's adapting to Earth, kind of thing. Which is going to be some good backstory development for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie, without a doubt. So if anything, it's been pretty decent. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people this day and age which have seen the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. They love them, but they obviously haven't played the games. Now, people will be thinking, hang on a minute, how can you watch the Sonic the Hedgehog movie and you've never played the games? People need to forget, people forget that the games, Sonic, they came out before I was born. I'm 32. Now, they might have come out roughly around when I was born, pretty much, in the early 90s, like Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2. Hell, the first game I ever played in my life was Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Sega Saturn. You know, when I was a child in the first home we lived in, and my father owned a Sega Saturn before the PlayStation 1. And he would give me, he would play Moving Sonic, and on Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Tails instinct always follows Sonic. And so he'd give me an empty a controller that wasn't exactly plugged in, and I'd be like, "Wait, I'm playing Tails, I'm playing Sonic." And well, really, I weren't actually playing; he were playing. Uh, but eventually, obviously, I ended up being able to play. I mean, these are only very very small memories, by the way. And then I ended up breaking the Sega Saturn because he asked me to turn it off, and I forced the buttons the wrong way, therefore breaking the Sega Saturn. Therefore, we got a PS1 probably in about 1997, something like that. Something like that, anyway. So, yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is people these days, kids these days, they haven't played the original Sonic games. And Sonic went on for quite a while. Like, you had Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and stuff like that, but you got to remember that was like in 2000, 2001. And then you had, Sonic Adventure, which had introduced Chaos as like a villain. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is not a lot of people are as familiar with the games as they probably not should be, but they're just not. So you're gonna need a series like Knuckles out there just to like give you some character backstory because you're not gonna know otherwise. Not this day and age, anyway. Obviously, there's been lots of remakes of the games, remastered, whatever. You can still play them, but they're just not as fun. You know, well, they are for me, but not. You know, they're old games, they're dated. Some people don't want to play dated games, especially the younger generation, anyway. So what I'm trying to say is this series kind of worked extremely well. It's stuck to the source material. It's definitely worth a watch, and it's a fucking easy watch as well. It's not something you need to actually full on focus on. It's just backstory for Knuckles and Wade, which I'm pretty sure they'll elaborate more about in Sonic 3. So in my opinion, if you're going to watch Sonic 3 when it comes out in cinemas, you have to watch this series. Like, in my opinion, you can't get around it. So people, if you're ready for Sonic 3, watch the Knuckles series. You have to. You really do need to, you know. Whether there's going to be a series 2 of Knuckles or not, I really don't know. But to be fair, I wouldn't count on it. I don't think they really need to do that, in my opinion. But yeah. Yeah, we're good. I've nothing else to really add. I just wanted to promote the series a tiny bit because I thought it was absolutely good. I'm about to say absolutely epic. It weren't epic, but it was good. It was a must watch. If you're interested in Sonic and you're interested in the film lore universe, that universe, the films, hell, you've got to watch this series. It's pretty darn good. I would heavily recommend it. Sonic the Hedgehog is in it in the first episode. He is in it. But he's just not the main character. You know, the main character is Knuckles. The main villain wants Knuckles. And that's that. Yeah. So anyone, people, if you disagree with what I'm saying, please leave in the comments politely. Don't obviously call me out. I'd rather you didn't do that. But if you did, whatever. I don't care. The series were good. You know, better than I thought actually. Because at first I was thinking, God, this is gonna suck, isn't it? They've got two supporting casts which were very not too relevant. Obviously, Knuckles was relevant in the Sonic 2. He was one of the main bad guys. But, you know, he's going to be... When Sonic 3 comes out, I'm going to have to admit that with Shadow the Hedgehog being voiced by Keanu Reeves in Sonic 3, Knuckles, voiced by Idris Elba, he's just going to be so overshadowed by, no pun intended, but he's going to be overshadowed by Shadow the Hedgehog so badly. He's going to make him being a villain in Sonic 2 pretty shit, to be honest. That's just a fact. We all know that. So it's good that they have this Netflix series just to like put him back in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Sonic and Tails are always going to be in the spotlight. It's good to have Knuckles in there as well. You know, I think Knuckles was first introduced in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I think, but I could be wrong about that. Anyway, I'm done with this review now. Watch the series, it's good. Awesome 50 out.